Hi, today I'd like to talk to you about correct letter formation with the lowercase letters. I've taken the letters of the alphabet and grouped them into different categories based on the starting point of each letter. The categories that I've grouped them into are pull back around, then pull back around and under, reach tall, pull down, then pull down under, and push out. Today I'd like to talk about the pull back around letter formation with these groups of letters C, O, A, D, S, G, and Q. The last two letters, G and Q, would qualify in that group of pull back around and under the baseline of writing. When students or early writers begin to write, most start with circles and making that formation on a page. That's why I would like to start with the pull back around formation of letters, because many kids, young writers, are used to that formation. Always stressing that when you make your letters, you're always wanting to go left to right to make those letters. Meaning, when you go left to right, you're staying with the concept of when we begin reading, we start on the left side and move right. This will keep a fluent strategy and process of writing letters as well. So when we start into these letters, I have some phrases that I use and create for them so they know which way to move their writing utensil. The first one is the lowercase c. I always start with pushing up and then pull back around. Push up and then pull back around. When I go to use this on a writing board, one that is well used, I would start on that dotted line in the middle, give them some starting points under the dotted line so they can definitely push up and pull back around and sit on the bottom line. The next letter I would move into after the C would be the letter O. Starting with the letter O, I would definitely show them that the letter C is hiding inside that letter O. After you push up, pull back around, close it up. Constantly saying those same repetitive phrases so that gets ingrained into their thinking process when they go to write these letters. And always starting with the C and then moving on to the O, because you don't want your C's to end up being a pull down letter instead of a push up, pull back around, getting that first arch started there. After the C and O, then I move on to the A. As you can see, the letter C and the letter O are going to be the same formation in the letter A. You make the C, turns into an O, park it down. So you're making your letter C, O, then park it down. So I say pull back around, close up, park it down. Pull back around, close up, park it down. After that, I would move into the letter D. I would be pulling back around with the letter D, push up, and push tall and pull down. So if your child's able to keep that writing utensil on the page, push up and retrace and park it down without any gaps in their writing, you'll notice that this will be a smoother process into their writing. So if you do the letter D, it's always going to be a pull back around, push tall, retrace, park it down. If they're unable to do this and their D's are starting to look like this and they're not closing up or keeping it together, I would definitely recommend going to pull back around to the C, reach tall, and then line up that stick to that letter D in that way. Okay? After the letter D, a little bit different than the letters C, A, and D, is the letter S. And even though it's has a lot of curves in it, starting with that letter S, it's still the pull back around, and then I say drop down and curl. So if you get this motion started, you've got the drop down and curl. A little larger for you can see, pull back around, drop down and curl. pull back around, drop down and curl. As you can see, it's always that same motion as pull back around. That's why I've categorized these letters as pull back around letters. After these letters are mastered, of course, you can move on after C, O, A, D, and S. You would move into the letters going under the line. And these letters are G and Q. So it would be, again, pull back around, touch at the top, pull down under the line and curl. Pull back around, touch top, pull under the line and curl. Pull back around, touch top, under the line and curl. After G is mastered, you can move on to the letter Q, where it's still pull back around, touch top, down, curl the other way. Kick out, pull back around, reach top, pull under the line, and kick out or curl the other way. As you teach these letters, something to keep in mind is making it fun. As we start with the letter C, and we master these letters, I'll always be saying, oh, what letter am I making? Am I making a C? Oh no, I tricked you, it's an O. Not really, it's an A. So kids like to be able to guess, is it going to be an O? No, now it's going to be a G. Or is it going to be a C? Oh, it's going to be a D. So they're always knowing that that first starting point, the first motion is going to be a pull back, around, set on the line, and go from there. And these would be the category of letters that I would call pull back around letters. As you practice, you can make a fun game out of it, where I usually have lines on a paper, and they can practice the whole line, you going across, circling the one that you think is formed the best, and they like to do that. As students get used to this, they'll also find that they want to make their own dotted. They all want to make their own start dots, as we call them, before they make their letters. Soon you can move on past that, and they don't even need a start dot. So after practicing, circling their favorite or your favorite letter that you think is the best. Also, just a quick game of what letter do you think I'm making. Moving on to create letter identification and letter formation quickly with automaticity. You can, after all of these are identified and mastered with making them, you can also ask, make me a letter C. So they have to retrieve that letter, the name, and know how to make it. Again, retrieve the letter A in their brain, pull, and make it. So they're not constantly thinking and working to make these letters when they're then sounding out phonemes to create words. After the letter names are mastered, you can go on to the letter sounds. Make me the letter that starts with S, or the letter that starts with A, or the letter that makes the D sound. Many different variations for all the same groups of letters. So those are your pull back around letters. Thank you.